What is good, everybody? It is your guy, Big Game James. We in these streets. We in these burgers and blitzes streets. What's up, my dog? We are finally back. You know how we do. You know what I'm saying? We can go every week for like a month, and then we won't go for like a whole month. That's just how we do it. So you just always got to be prepared and always be ready for when it comes and drops the hammer. But what's up to everybody? Ooh, we already got 25 in the building. They was waiting for you, Mike.
Sorry for the delay, man. I'm the reason we're late today. I woke up sunny side down. Had some other issues going on, but we got it straightened back. We're back out of the ditch and we got the cruise control on. Beautiful Sunday out here in Cavemanville, Texas, and we are doing the damn thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We here. What's up? What's up? What's up? Get on in the building. Let everybody know you're in the building. What's up with Jack David Jenkins? Boo thing. She's in there. What's up, sis? Big Flocka, Michael Autry. What's going? You know how it is. Let's get. It's time to talk a little bit of football. Um, had Mike Fisher on there yesterday. We talked about a few things. But I want to ask you. I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions today. First, free agency. I always look at your Twitter because I like to see what you say in your tweets. But on Twitter, not though, I'm sorry, not on Twitter, but in free agency,
Yes, sir.
I did defense this week on my positions, what I thought of positions, and I want you to give me the grade, what you would think. I'm gonna give you my grade, and then you tell me what you think, and then we'll talk about the overall defense. Okay. So I first we'll start with the inside end. I went with defensive tackles. I gave the defensive tackles a grade of a D. And the main reason why I gave it a D was because you have Mozzie, Denzel Dax, and then you have the Justin Rogers kid who you got back after you let go. But I'm sorry, I still don't have confidence in Mozzie right now. You don't have a stuffer at the 0 to 1. You still need a guy there. So that's why I gave them a D overall. I know you have Osa and they got the Solomon Thomas. Those are good pass rushing guys, but those are not good run stoppers. So for the overall grade would be the D. I could give it higher, but I'm sorry. Osa's not a great run defender, and neither is Solomon Thomas. So what's your quick grade on the defensive tackles?
About the same as it was at the end of the year, man. I mean, uh, they obviously need help there. They didn't do enough. I mean, I guess you got Solomon Thomas, and at the same time, if that's one of the guys, one of these bargain bin free agent acquisitions they picked up that actually pop off something, that may be one of your guys there. So
But he's
it
not.
would be
But
not.
okay. Well, let me ask you about this. How would you feel about getting Calais Campbell?
I mean, I would have done it a few weeks ago. The man apparently he's like Frank Gore. He just doesn't age. He just keeps playing football. He's going to
Played
play till he's
17
60.
games the last 2 straight years and had
Yeah.
11 has over 100 tackles in those 2 years, has 11 sacks, hella quarterback hits. He's 38 years old. He played for $2 million last year with Miami, a full 17 games, dog. Why wouldn't you get that for a mentorship with Mozzie? Number one, he needs that. And you got a guy who can play all down the line, and he can play a lot of snaps. He played 53% of the defensive snaps. Why wouldn't you want a guy in that building if you're doing 1 year rentals?
I mean, you're preaching to the choir there. It seems like something that makes sense, and that may be one of those things where it's these vets they don't want to come to OTAs, they don't want to come to June mini camp, they don't even want to come to training camp, nor do they need to. Now, I would like for you to go ahead and sign him and get it out the way, but as cheap as they don't want to sign somebody that's impaled until they actually need them. So I'm thinking that's one of those, late August things, which he'll probably
I,
be snatched up by then.
that's what I'm saying. That's the issue because this is what we're talking about, Mike. If y'all already jumped the gun on free agency, yes, you still didn't do anything exciting. Well, it ain't even about exciting. You did things that you're doing things early, but it's still the same type of a player, like the low end of you're not the spectrum of the cost and things of that nature. We know you're still doing that, except maybe with the Dante Fowler situation, who I love. I don't know if you do because remember we used to go back and forth for him, but if you're already jumping the gun and opening money and you've already signed free agents quicker than you have before, I know I'm just asking you, Mike, wouldn't that just make more sense to go ahead and get him now? even if you're talking about OTAs, like I don't feel like Calais Campbell is that type of guy where he would not go because he's a leadership guy. Maybe just I could be just thinking wrong because those guys are veterans. They don't like going to that. But I'm just saying.
No, it's you know, not to be, devil's advocate here, but or even go a little Mickey Spagnola, but he's not signed anywhere else either.
True story. But they're talking
I,
about him though. San
I
Francisco.
absolutely.
You're definitely he's definitely going to get signed somewhere.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like maybe that's part of the game right now.
Right,
You know,
right.
maybe there's that. Maybe there's that. We can get you 70% guaranteed over here. Meanwhile, they're talking higher ceiling with 50% guarantee. But if you hit your numbers, and then, well, maybe that team sucks. Maybe it's a jet. The Jets asking for that or something like. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's part of the game. And why the rush? There's two parts of that story with
Right.
these, especially when you're talking about a guy who's 40 years old.
He's 38.
Okay.
Don't add the years.
I mean,
38.
I
He's
know what
38.
I felt like
But he's
waking up
still
at 38.
but he's still doggish though. You got to give that man credit. So
Oh,
you're
I'm
down with
not
me.
taking
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
know.
I'm not
You're
taking
down with me,
anything
bro.
away from.
You're down
Yeah,
with me
yeah,
with Calais Campbell. Cool. So
absolutely.
we're pretty much in agreement on the defensive tackle. Let's go to the edges. You got Micah who will play the edge. You have Dante Fowler who you have back. What do you think about that signing first?
Love it.
Okay.
Love it. Needed it. Um, I don't want to talk about the guy that left too much because everybody knows how I've
Yeah,
always felt about that, and
exactly.
likewise.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
but at the same time, we would have been on their ass like white on rice for that type of if they signed that dude for that type of money. That's just
Right.
that's just not good business. Period.
Right.
It's just not. So that had to happen, and then you went and got Fallon. So
Right.
I mean, to me, that washes.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Well,
that washes.
yeah. And you don't want a progress stopper now. And that's what it would be. And that's why it need to happen. So we ain't talking about that guy anymore. But you got Marshawn Nealon, who I know you like. I know you like Marshawn
Mm-hmm.
Nealon. I think he's going to be a good player, and he could be what that guy was before because he sets the edge. He's a run defender, and he's not going to get a lot of sacks, in my opinion, but he will get pressures. He will stop the ball. So I do like him. And then you have Sam Williams. Now, that's a guy who we've talked about heavily, Sam Williams. What do you think about Sam Williams this year? Do you think because this is a contract year, isn't it, for him? Because he's in his fourth year, isn't he? I
I
think so,
mean,
because he can 2022, or he got
can
one
you
more year.
can you stay healthy 10 games?
I mean, I don't think it's really been injuries with him. He had the injury last, but we talked about it's been more upstairs, more than the injuries. But do you think he does? I feel like he
Health. I
will.
mean, let me rephrase that. Can you be available for 10 games?
Well,
Prove it.
I hopefully prove it. You definitely have to prove it because there are doubters out there. I'm a doubter, but I
And
know
it
he has
ain't
the
that ain't the
talent,
type
and
of
I feel
person
like
that pops off. Either way, that ain't the type of person that pops off 10 games or even a season, and you just like open up the checkbook.
oh,
Like,
I know that.
congrats,
I
you
know
finally
that.
had a year.
But the good thing about it is when a contract like that is coming up, you're going to get the best from them players because they need that next contract. So you're always usually going to get the best. We've seen that time and time again with players doing that. We talked about it with that guy who left. He did it and didn't do it anymore after that. So I've seen it. So at the edges, and then you have the Peyton Turner, who I'm not thinking anything about, but anything could happen. I'm not thinking anything about that. But I gave the edges a B just because of Micah Parsons and Dante Fowler. And then you have that back guys in the back. How do you feel about that? And then you can still draft somebody.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a position of strength, but I don't. How I am. I think coverage or interior pressure, whichever one you want to stack, are way more important than edge rush. Um, Being able to clog up that throwing lane and cover so the edges can actually get home. We've seen it. I mean, how Tom Brady played till 50 years old. If you can't hit him because the ball's out. If you can cover, you could get to it. And you need to be able to cover, and that's why I hated Jordan Lewis leaving. Man, I hated that. I hated that big time. That's a massive, massive hole that with the modern NFL, that dime corner is so important with these shifty guys and the pre-snap motion and the bunch formations and everything that goes into it. The big body, there's such size queens here. They want these 6'2", 215-pound corners and 6'1", 220-pound running backs, or sorry, wide receivers. And you wonder why nobody can get open and why somebody like Amon Ross St. Brown comes in and just absolutely fucking fries them because you can't move. It's just pure physics. You need speed and you need to be able to cover these guys. And the Diggs situation really worries me. What the hell's happening with Bland? Do you
Well,
even
hold
pay
hold on,
off the
hold on
one?
before you do that.
So,
Before you do that, because we're going to talk about corners, and then I want you to talk about that. But you feel me? We're about the same because you got Dante and you got Micah. That brings that grade up good. And then you got potential in the background with Nealon and and Williams. So that's why I gave that grade the way it was because you have potential there. Now let's go to the linebackers right quick. You can play Micah there. That's why I gave it a grade of a B because you can play Micah in different positions. You play off ball, strong side. You can play him in different positions. I like Maris Leofau. I know you do too.
hmm
I want you to tell me about what do you think about the signings in um, Kenneth Murray Jr. and Jack Sanborn. What do you think about those two guys?
I love Kenneth Murray in that draft. Not where he went. Arizona did Arizona things. I thought he was a day two guy. Um, hasn't exactly panned out, but he's been healthy, and it's almost like kind of like the Jalen Smith thing, where he
Mm-hmm.
led the Titans in tackles last year, but tackles are 7 and 10 yards downfield.
Right,
But
right.
at that point, it's a healthy linebacker that can tackle.
And he's embracing this here, and I think that
Yeah,
helps. He's embracing everything here. He's my family's Cowboys. I'm Cowboys, and he's embracing it. And I feel like that helps too, Mike, because he has all the athletic ability. He can make splash plays. His problem is his instincts lead him wrong. He may overrun the play because he's coming too hard, get washed out the gap, and then
hmm
you get explosive runs, and that's been his issue. But we do have a defensive coach who is a linebacker whisperer and really deals with linebackers, so maybe that can help. Do you know anything about Jack Sanborn? Because from
I know.
the tape I've seen, I like him because I think he's that intellectual guy. He's been with Eberflus and that defense and that linebackers coach, and I feel like he already got their mind. So I feel like it's a smooth transition for what they want to do. He'll be able to be kind of like a quarterback on the field as well.
That is a. There's so much to like about that signing. Right out the gate, he's a healthy guy. Finally, had a rough start to his career. Second part of that is they signed him for like backup long snapper money. I mean, he's making
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, his base is like 1.2.
Mm-hmm.
Like seriously, if the guy didn't even make the opening, the 53, or no harm, no foul. But I think that, like you're saying, you have a green dot guy there that knows the Eberflus system, who is smart. And if you remember back to last year, they had Leofau running the dot, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that relationship and mentorship will be valuable tenfold on Leofau moving forward with having that guy around him. And I mean, he's just a linebacker. That's just what he is. He's not. There's nothing. He's not going to be in the backfield getting 9 tackles for loss or something like. He's just a linebacker, and that's what he does. And you got him for pennies. I love the signing. I like that signing better than the other linebacker.
Yeah, well,
better than because they paid Murray. Murray got hella. I mean, considering his station in the league, Murray got hella paid
he
for
got paid
them.
because of his stature because they weren't
Yeah,
paying that undrafted. Jack Sanborn was undrafted. Murray was a high draft pick. You get what I'm saying? And he had a productive year. So that's what that was going to have to happen. You weren't going to pay Sanborn that kind of money, so that was
mm-mm.
going to happen. But I'm cool with both signings. I always liked Murray out of
Yeah,
college. I thought he was, I always thought he was just an inconsistent player because he had the tools, but he just was inconsistent. So hopefully he comes here because, like I said, he's embracing it here, and I feel like this could be a good thing for him in the long run with Dallas. So I
to
gave him
me,
that grade.
when defensive players go to Arizona, it's just like, ah, shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like Isaiah
I wish
Simmons.
Woody could have got that Kaiser White personally. Now, if you would have got a
Yeah,
Kaiser White and the Jack Sanborn, I really would have been happy because Kaiser White is legit, and I think he's still out there. And he may have been and if you're paying Murray that money, you definitely could have played Kaiser White that money, and he's a better player in my opinion.
yeah.
Just me.
There's definitely things they could have done. There's definitely things they still should do. I mean, there's guys out there
Yeah,
that,
and we're gonna talk
but
about
I'm more.
that as
That's
well.
yeah, that's more on the offensive side. So
So let's go to cornerbacks. You were just mentioning the dig situation. Talking about Bland, I have my own thoughts on both of those, but I gave the cornerback situation a D for the simple fact of you don't know what's going on with Diggs. You don't even know if he's going to be with the team beyond this year. Um, Bland, I said he's not a number one. I don't hate on him. I like Bland, but I'm not paying him cornerback one money. I just seen those guys getting paid, not paying Bland that. I'm sorry. But I'll definitely pay him good money, but just not that. Um, you don't know what you have in Elam. The backups you have in Carson, you don't know. Uh, Booth was cooked. I like Butler, but he's injured. They signed Izzy, but I don't know if they're going to flex him at corner or safety. So that's why I gave the grade as a D for the cornerbacks. But what's your thoughts on the cornerback situation?
the Diggs thing already had me shaky, and then I saw the Twitter post with who he was trading with, and oh man, I think it's over.
Do you? This year?
Yeah, I like he'll probably make the team because they've already paid him, but I think it's over.
Oh, I think honestly, this is his last year unless he goes crazy. I think this is his last year in
You,
Dallas.
you, you seen
I
who
feel that.
you've seen who he was training with, right? So, um, the trash can guru, Mister Trash Can Juker.
Hmm.
And I'm not trying to shade anybody, but there's a reason that some of these guys have a reputation they do, and there's a reason that certain people go to certain people, and certain people go to certain people because they want to get trained up and they don't want to be on social media, and certain people go to certain people because they want to get their name out there and say, "Hey, I'm doing something. Look at me go! Look at
Hmm.
me go!" And that's what I mean. That's the gang, That's what it is.
I've
And
seen that as well, and I thought to
if it
myself that way.
shoe fits, man,
I just feel
I'm
like
not,
you don't have to show people you're out there training. Like that's my thing with him. And I don't hate on Trevin Diggs. Like please don't nobody think that. But first of
no,
all, this is what a few things Diggs does I just don't like. But I'm not hating on you, Diggs. I like you as a player, so please don't take it. But he'll be on Twitter and he'll say some wrong tweets, and then he'll delete them tweets like 5 minutes later, or them tweets will never be found. Like he talk, don't tweet it. Just don't say nothing, Trevin. Just stay on out of it. You don't gotta. It ain't got nothing to do with you know. Just stay on out
too
of
emotional,
it. You too
too
emotional,
emotional.
and then 5, 10 minutes later you feel bad and you take it away. That always is happening. Just don't do that. And then second of all, I get it, but you don't gotta show us your videos of training. Like as soon as people start saying something about you, you post videos of you training. That's not
and
changing anything for me. That's not
it's
making me
not
think
even.
you're training harder than anybody else out there.
It's a bunch of jump cuts and edits in the video. It ain't even raw footage. You know what I mean? It's a glorified
It's
made on
two
TikTok highlight reel.
it's two stretches, and then that's it.
Yeah,
It's like, why are you even posting it, dog? You
like we
feel me?
get it. Like
It's like we
you
get
got
it.
to stay in shape. Cool.
We understand, but you ain't gotta. You need to prove it to them. You ain't gotta prove it to us. You ain't gotta prove it to none of us
Because
fans. We ain't
hey,
paying your
because
bills. We don't give a fuck.
yeah, my name ain't on your check, but I guarantee you the people whose name on your check got a problem with you right now.
They're on your ass. That's why you showing this, because it's out there. Whether he wants to say it or not, it's out there, and it's been multiple things. I've been saying the same thing about him with that, and
Clock out, and they don't see his ass again until June.
I mean, and here's the thing: you don't hate, like, you'll see CD with videos, but that man really is working. Like
Hey,
that man is really
you
working.
see that? You see that last one, dude? CD looking diesel. That man, I bet he's
Oh,
210,
he
I
is.
bet he's
You
210,
remember when he
215
came
now,
in,
dude.
bro? He's skinny big, but
He
he's
had them,
cocky
but
now.
he had them damn Ricketts legs like Devontae Smith when he
Right,
came in. He
right.
had them little
Yeah,
bitty
he's
chicken
different
legs.
now. He's different now. He's an NFL player now. He's bulked up.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And
I ain't
he's
weird for
training.
that. I'm just talking my feelings about that. That ain't weird about.
He's training with a legit dude. That wasn't no highlight video. That was just a simple picture from probably his. Who'd that come? I think it was his agent.
Yeah,
Probably.
probably.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, it was his agent or probably somebody, you know, at that facility, because a lot of those facilities, the ones that you actually want to train at, you leave your phone at the counter. Like there's, if you want a photo, we have photographers here, and we will get one for you. Here is what we're gonna do today. Put your phone over here. You want to get to work or not? That is like Apex and MJP and those places like in North Texas. You know how lit it is in here in the off season with these people, with the trainers we got here. There's a
Well,
reason
hold
that
on before you finish. I want to jump in this. So here's the thing. I don't talk down on no players for real. I say my opinion about it. I don't talk down on no players. Now, I don't know who you. If you saying that with Mike, that's on you. Your conversation with him. I don't be talking down
you
on
hear
no players. You know what I'm
you
saying? I
hear
don't
what
be
you want to
talking
hear,
down.
dude. I hype people
Yeah,
up all the fucking time.
I don't talk down on no players, and I don't be switching up. I just tell how I feel about a player. But if I feel like this is my opinion, I'm going to express it, especially if I feel like, especially with Diggs. I mean, it's really the truth with what I'm talking about with tweeting. It's really the truth. Like, you can go back and see his Twitter, and you can see what I'm saying is truth. You can see what I'm saying is truth with the rehab, because it's been backed up by team. It's been backed up by a lot of outlets that the work ain't really been put in. When you see him on the field, I like Diggs, what he can bring to the table, but I don't like how Diggs tackle. I was saying that when I did a video of him when he was in college. I said, I like how Diggs plays, but I don't like how he doesn't get his hands on people and get physical at the line of scrimmage, because he trails too much, and that will get him in trouble. And I don't like how he doesn't tackle in the open field. Those two things have been his issue the whole time he's been in the NFL.
Yeah, I
And if
mean,
you
he's
think
never
it's
had
negativity, that's your choice to think that. That's not I don't understand why people say something's
a
negative when you
scouting
say
report.
something about a player. That's a scouting report if you say it really. So then if that's the case, then why do you even listen to scouts? Why do you listen to
Yeah,
anybody on air or anything? Because ain't nobody saying something positive about a player all the damn time. And I didn't mean to cut out the show
and
for that. But I don't like when
it
people try to say I'm speaking negative on a person. I don't like when people try to say that about me when that ain't
it ain't
true.
like I'm
So I'm
saying
gonna
he
jump
don't
in
put
and
his chair
address that.
back or he don't take his shopping cart back. I'm saying there's always holes in his game, and there's issues that he's had with the rehab that the team's having issues with. This stuff is widely reported and widely known. And I hope you keep that same energy when I come on here and eat crow about a player, because I've done that several times on here
Me
and
too.
online. Sometimes you're wrong. I was wrong about Josh Allen. He went out there and put that work in though,
Yeah, you
and he
was.
changed who
Did you say sorry to him yet?
Yeah, a long time ago, but it was
I want to
up
hear it
to
now
him to make
because I
that
didn't hear you
change.
say it. I didn't hear you
It
say
was up to him to make that change, and he made that change. He hooked up with
it. What
Jordan
up, Unc?
Palmer, and he changed his game. He went from a 50% completion quarterback to a 75+% completion quarterback. He always had the power. You just never knew where the hell that ball was going to land. Like, you see what you want to see. I'm not going to get up here and blow smoke up a player when there's talk about everybody that watches this team has an issue with the way that man was playing football.
Everybody, and here's the
But
thing.
I'm the negative. But I'm the problem,
I mean,
right?
a lot of.
I'm the bad guy.
I don't know.
Miss me with
Like
that
I said,
shit, man. I'm not.
I don't
I'm just
understand
not.
it.
Like, I just got through talking up Leofow. I just got through talking. I got through talking up how we miss Jordan. We're gonna miss Jordan Lewis, but this dude want to talk about, oh, you're always negative on players.
Well, he cleaned
Did
it
you
up a
just
little.
log in?
He cleaned it up. He's good giving good back and forth. So I'm messing with your action Jacksons because you're giving good back and forth. I like how you coming good back and forth. So I appreciate that. This is what it is. I ain't never trying to point out negativity about a player, but if I see like a Mozzie Smith, I just told you, I'm sorry. I don't believe in him. Okay.
No.
But when he does good in 3 or 4 games, I'm gonna jump out there and be like, okay, Mozzie. And we did it last
Yes.
year. We
Like
jumped in there
we're
last year and was
pulling
like,
for you, dude.
there
We're
you go.
pulling for
There
you,
you
dude.
go, Mozzie.
There
That's
you go.
we want you to do good because I don't believe you're that good. And I'm not trying not to believe that. I just don't believe you are. So if you are, that's dope. But I'm
When you
always
could
have the
see,
reservation that
dude, I got so pumped. You seen him break through, like he got a tackle, split the two gap, and got a tackle for loss on a running back in the backfield, and they didn't give it to him in the box score. And I was talking shit. And they updated the score. They updated the box score to reflect that he finally got a tackle for loss. And yeah, he finally got a tackle for loss. Good. Awesome. Like, that's all we want to see. See, they don't spend a first round pick on you, dude. Like, you got to work out. You got to. Otherwise, we're in a bad spot because this team don't use free agency like that. You need 100% hit rate on your first 3 picks every single year. You
well,
have
let
no
me
margin
ask you
for
this
error.
right quick. Let me ask you this right quick because I've been talking about this. I ain't been adamant, but it's in my head now. Would you just trade back if you don't aren't getting your guy? And get a trade. This is what I said. Trade back to that 20 section. Don't go no lower than 23 because I feel like you can still get your guy around 23. I said Luther Burden, you can get the receiver, maybe Ibuka, you can get your receiver right there. If you pick up an extra second rounder, right, and then maybe pick up a fourth because you let somebody move up that many spots. How do you feel about this, Mike? You get your receiver, you're in the first, you pick up 2 seconds, you get a DT, maybe 2, or you get your running back and a DT right there. Third round, maybe you get your corner, probably because you don't want to wait to the fourth. And then, you can mix and match DT, corner, running back in those, but you pick up at least 2 extra picks in a second and a fourth. Would you do that?
I'm not interested in this team picking in the second round at all.
I hear what you're
But
saying, Mike, but this one. But you got Schottenheimer in the building now. I think he's going to help.
hey, how about this? I'm not with the first round. Like, the trade back sounds great, but it depends on how it falls. If there's a player I feel a type of way about, and he's sitting there at 12, and you got to fall back 8 spots or something, like, would be the general consensus, 5 to 8, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you miss him because he gets taken, and you got that extra second rounder. Awesome. You settled on your first round pick. You're going to go, who knows? Maybe that tight end in the first round. To me, my draft, Golden, Henderson, Taj Brooks. I don't care what else happens.
I can't do that. I need my DT in that second round. Mm-mm.
Second
We
round's
got
your running
too
back,
many.
Bubba.
No,
Second round's your running back.
you can get.
Second
You
round's
can
your running
still
back.
get, bro. You can still get a good ass running back after the second round. I guarantee you. I guarantee
There's
you
going to
can.
be, I bet there's going to be
So you gonna
12
tell me
running
Miles
backs.
Sanders is trash? I'm not leaning
Yes.
on him. No, he's not. No, he's not.
Yes.
He didn't have a good
Okay.
situation in Carolina. No, he's not. I
He
watched
didn't.
him. He's not
Okay.
trash.
So
You're
it was,
not gonna tell
he
me
didn't
he's
have,
trash, bro. He's not trash.
dude, he's 5 years in the league. We just got to go look at college highlights.
I just seen him a couple years get 1,400. I seen him last year. Didn't really get the opportunities. No, I'm not gonna believe that.
Okay. Well, then why are you drafting a running back?
I want to draft a running back, but why you ain't drafting a DT when you said we can't stop the run? You ain't got no DTs. None. You
got to
gave up
buy one.
137 yards a game last year, 158
Got
at
to buy
home. You
one.
gave up 20. You gave up 25 rushing touchdowns last year, most in NFL.
Got to
Buy
buy
one.
one.
Who's out there? You took too long. And even if you get
Gotta buy
somebody, it
one.
ain't going to be somebody that's going to be of significance because everybody is gone because now you're too close to the draft. So you need to draft some real defensive tackles, dog, or that's going to be a big problem again. You just said it don't matter about your edge rushers if you can't stop the middle. You just said it don't matter about that defense if you can't stop the middle. So why would you delay it and get more offense and you ain't touching that defense?
Because it's an offense heavy draft. And I think if you can score 50, you can win the game.
Nah, I ain't saying that. Not with this. Nah, Dallas don't work like that. Dallas don't win like that. Dallas don't win. Dallas is always a better team when they have good defense. Period.
Hey, Dallas is a good team when they can run the fucking football, and you go get Henderson and you go get Taj Brooks.
You can still. That's why I say trade back because you can get that receiver, dog. Who'd you say? Who you said Golden or did you say from Texas? Right? You don't think he wouldn't drop to 23rd or the 21st
No.
or the 20th?
No.
I think he will. I think he will.
He ain't making it past Seattle.
We'll see.
Dude,
I like Luther Burden.
Here's the thing about Luther Burden.
Have you watched him? Have you watched his tape?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's the thing about Luther Burden. Here's the thing about Tet. I love both of them. In any other year, I probably would have them above Golden. This team is slow. They need another 4 or 5 big body wide receiver like I need a second head.
We don't need
they just
speed
lost
out there.
Brandon Cooks. We need speed.
That's need what Luther Burden is too. He is speed and yet, bro, like he is. He's a playmaker. Listen to what I'm telling you. Especially if you're talking about opening the checkbook. We've been screaming, well, at least the contingent that I'm effing with, get Keenan Allen because that's a solid number 2.
Oh, great.
To help.
Another 4 or 5 fucking slow guy.
Bro, that ain't about him with the speed. You need somebody who can run them routes. And you gonna tell me Keenan? Yeah. Oh, dog.
I need somebody that can get
it.
I talked about the Keenan Allen signing 3 years ago. It was a fun idea 3 years ago.
But listen, he hasn't fought. He had Caleb Williams in a terrible offensive line. He didn't play them fall. His play didn't fall off. You had a bad situation at quarterback and offensive line. You have a better situation with Dak. You're not going to tell me he's only a year removed from 1,200 yards and 8 touchdowns with a real quarterback. Dak is a real quarterback. He is timing based. You said it yourself. He's a rhythm quarterback and he's timing based. That's what Keenan Allen is. Keenan Allen was never based on speed. Now listen, if you got a hold on, let me finish my argument to you. You get a Keenan Allen who is legit route running, man, surgical on the defenses, finds the open spots, and then you got a CD, and then you get that fast guy. That's not a legit 3.
I was gonna say Keenan Allen doesn't stop you from taking Golden at 12 in a heartbeat, dude.
But now what I'm saying is, you want that running back in the second. I want that defensive tackle. I want that running back too bad. But I feel like I can get that running back. There's still enough out there. Dog, Talik Williams, there's some guys out there. But Talik Williams, Alfred Collins, you need a 6. And Williams, I haven't met Larry Johnson, but I know of him, the defensive line coach at Ohio State. Bro, they put him out. 6'3", 335 legit. He ain't losing the weight. He ain't losing the weight like Mozzie. You feel me? You got an Alfred
No.
Collins 6'6", 340 pounds. That's
Hey.
what you need. You need two dogs in that middle.
Okay. Hey, you know what? I'll concede. I'll give you your DT in a second. Let me reach for Taj. Let me reach for Taj Brooks in the third, just so we
Go
got him
ahead.
home.
That's fine.
I think you can get him on the fourth. That ain't something I want to play around with, though. And when you're talking, when you're talking that far back into the draft, I ain't sweating. I ain't sweating a reach. What is it? 30 picks up to get him. I'm just not. You're
But
talking
I'm just
about how this offensive line is. We don't know. We don't really know. They're talking about not drafting any offensive line where it actually matters, right? So let's go get Taj Brooks and put him back there because you are not. If Taj Brooks in that backfield, you ain't getting the Dak Prescott. You ain't doing it. Period. I know you've seen his film. We want to talk about
I've seen this film.
pass pro, guaranteed short yardage, reliable, healthy running back. For pennies on the dollar, bam, right there. Take my man in the third. I'll take him on.
We'll say, listen, this is why I'm fine with it, because you can have a running back by committee. Because, like I said, I don't think Miles Sanders is cooking. If, let's say, you add him, now I feel like you are okay, and you still have your boy Devontae Williams. Whatever happens with that, we don't know, right? But that's a thing for me. But you must address this middle, dog.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot play it off. You cannot wait till fourth or fifth round. No,
Especially if
you
they're not going
can't
to
be
buy.
getting
If they're
these
not going to
guys
buy
in the
one.
sixth rounder.
If they're not going to buy Solomon Thomas,
If you're not buying one, which
yeah.
you definitely should,
So
or Calais
sorry,
Campbell,
Calais
you
Campbell.
still need to address it, even if you buy it. Even if you buy him, you still need to address it, because you need a dog in there with Mozzie. You do.
Absolutely.
And then get somebody maybe later too, because this is the draft for defensive tackles, especially the big ones. You gotta get one this year. You gotta get it.
So if you're willing to pass up your running back there in the second, your OSU guy for a DT, that lets me know how serious you are about the situation. And I can concede that. We'll go get say Miles Sanders still has a little bit of shift in the tank, right? Because you think he does. Now we got Taj Brooks and Miles Sanders.
That ain't bad.
Could be a hell of a lot worse.
And you still got your and then think about this. We already talked about you got your receiver in the first.
Yeah. And that receiver.
And if you got a Keenan Allen,
hey, guess what that receiver can do too? That receiver's perfectly capable of taking a pitch, taking a direct handoff, taking whatever you want. Because the reason I like Golden, and once again, it's this year and this team. This team needs another 4 or 5 wide receiver. Like I said, like I need a second head.
But at 12 though, Mike,
yes,
that's scary at 12.
Hey, you know what? You know what I don't want to do? I don't want to trade back to 20 and lose him because we got an extra second round pick. That's not what I'm in the business of, Bubba.
I hear you, but I'm in that business. That's what we're gonna disagree.
I'm fine.
I'll take that chance.
I'm fine with trading back after like 15.
I don't think he's gonna be that great in the pros.
I'm fine with trading back after like 15. Generally, you have 11 or 9 to 15 first round grades in the actual first round. Golden is one of those first round grades. The reason I say this is he transferred. He didn't transfer because he wasn't getting burned. He transferred because he wanted more smoke. He went to the SEC and he went to Texas and he took Bond's job down the season and then showed up in the playoffs. I understand that is a small sample size, but when you're talking about a wide receiver that runs like that can get open like that catch it, that attacks the catch point, that is his ball. You're not getting it. You may break it up, but you're not getting it. That is the type of guy this team needs. You already have Lamb. You already have your 4 or 5 route runner guy. Go get Keenan Allen. There's your other 4 or 5 route runner guy. Then you hit the golden charger and slap him right in the middle of this damn offense and watch it go. That is my selling point, good sir. I understand the Tet thing. I understand the Ibuka thing, even though I think Ibuka maybe they're like 40. I understand it. They're good. They're going to be great receivers. We already have that. We don't need another one. We need speed, legit speed.
But see, that's what I'm saying though, Mike. You like Golden, I like Golden, but I don't like him like you like him at that high because I feel like if you trade back and go back that many spots, you can rack up picks, and that's what it's about. And I'm cool with getting a Luther Burden because he's been everybody's falling off with him and nobody's talking about him right now. So I'm happy with that because he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder. He ran a solid 4.4. He's a fast guy. He's a guy shallow routes can take it to the house. He can beat you deep. He can punt returns. He can do all those things. And if you're adding that Keenan Allen, I'm still good with that because now we picked up another second rounder. Let's do work and pick up a fourth rounder. Let's do work. I want 5 picks in that top 100 because I need that defensive tackle address. We need a cornerback now because we and you have just talked about it. They need another young corner out there. So those things need to be in the mix. And the only way you get that is probably trading back and adding a few more picks to help because this draft is deep enough where you can still get that receiver, that speed guy. I just don't want to, in my head, I'm like this, Mike. I just don't want to say at 12, we're getting Genty. That's it. I like him, but the whole
I don't
world is
think it.
not, I don't want to put the word, oh, Genty, and now Dallas is back. I don't have that feeling with him. I'd be totally
I
wrong.
don't
I
think he
could.
makes it.
And with McMillan, I like him, but I still feel like get some more picks. You got
I
three
get you,
fives,
bub.
2 6s, and 2 7s. Get some more in them early rounds. Get some more picks in them early rounds because we need to rack up. Because as many free agents you got 20, 21 free agents. They're not really needle movers, and you can agree with that.
Yeah, I just find me some speed, man. I'm
I
just,
feel you.
it's bro. It's like 20 years now, at least 20 years. I've been
Mm-hmm.
begging for speed. This
Mm-hmm.
offense is fucking slow. We see it year in and year out. It's slow. It is slow. Why can't anybody get open? You got Dak. It's some of Dak's worst plays, absolute worst plays, where he has to scamper around back there, wait for CD to finally work open because there's not shit else anywhere else on the field. Give me Golden. Give me that 4-3 right out of the slot. Turn 2 seconds and turn. Give me that quick out. Give me that quick out that you can maybe bust it for 40. Give me that quick option, which opens up the seam for Ferg, which opens up Lamb. Because if once you start to respect that speed off the line, everything changes. Nobody's had to respect the speed from Dallas coming off the line, and I don't know how long, man. What, Terrell Owens? And he was still kind of a choo-choo train, but he still had top end speed, so you still had to be, over the top of him. Give me something that can consistently win against man coverage right off the line and watch how this run game, watch how CD Lamb, watch how all this offense just starts to work. And that is my selling point at 12 versus risking it for another second round pick, backing up to 20 or so, and you losing to somebody like Seattle. I'm not you don't have too shitty of a season. You're in the 12th spot for a reason. Take advantage of that. You won't be back here again unless Dak gets hurt, because that's the only times they've been here. The only times they've been inside of 25 is when Dak got hurt, right? Or the quarterback, or even Roma.
Mm-hmm.
You're up here.
Mhm.
Take advantage of that. Get your guy.
I'm with you. I'm with you with the speed. I'm just not with you with Matthew Golden at 12. I'm just not with you
I
there.
can
But I'm definitely
I
with
can
you.
under
I'm with you
I
with
can
speed.
understand that. I can understand the hesitation. I can understand because he's not exactly a big guy, but I love the way he plays, and I love the fact his story, how he like once again he transferred to the SEC to get more targets. Isaiah Bond was supposed to be a top 15 pick coming into the year, and he took his fucking job. He took his job.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
But you wouldn't. I mean, but there. Let's. I'm gonna just say this though. Even if you didn't get that Golden, and even if you didn't do the Luther Burden, which I said, you. What's up, David? I still say there's some guys out there that you can get later that have some speed and some size, because I feel like you have to have the size with the speed. And there's some guys out there, Mike, in this
oh,
draft
you go get another
that
one.
have size and speed too.
I think this.
You know what I'm
I think
saying?
this.
So this is that's why I said you got to add picks, Mike, because you can mix and match. When you just got, because this is what I like, Mike. If you don't got them extra picks, it puts pressure on them to be like, oh, we got to get this for this, and oh, we got to do this. When you got them extra picks, it gives you flexibility. But also, Mike, what we just talked about, go buy that DT, go buy that receiver, maybe buy another corner. Then you feel even better if you trade back. Now you're feeling good. Now you can get busy with it, right? We don't have the
No,
pressure.
now I'm rubbing nipples. We're sitting there. We're not drafting.
Yeah, for
We're
sure.
not drafting horny. We're going into the draft. We got our head
Right,
clear. We got empty nuts, clear eyes,
right,
can't lose.
right,
But the way they're going
right.
into the draft right now kind of scares me.
It scares me too, because I feel like you're gonna
Yeah,
reach, because you didn't hit some spots that you need to, and I feel like you're just gonna reach at that spot, and that's what I don't want them to do. And I feel like if you go ahead and hear these voices that we've been pushing out there, get you this second receiver. We've been pushing this Keenan Allen, 15, 16 million. You got money, you have money available. You can do it. So what about Parsons?
Frederick's on it. Frederick's on it. The perimeter speed. See what my man's just saying? The perimeter speed can
Yeah.
force a single high defense, C1 or C3, into two high, which makes it lighten up the box, which now your running back, insert name, now automatically his job's easier. Because that little fast son bitch out there on the sideline is going to torch you. If you blitz Dak, which he's one of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL against the blitz, you blitz Dak and that guy gets behind you, that's a wrap.
Yeah,
That's a wrap.
that's what we need. You're right. I totally agree. I totally agree. We have it to where we don't have it, and the teams don't respect it, so they play us underneath.
Yes, sir.
They play us
Because
shallow
nobody can get
because
behind us.
they're not scared of us. Nobody can get vertical. We do have Turpin, but he doesn't play enough
It's a
for
UFL
them to
guy and he's
respect that he's in there.
5'8". And
And when he's nice though,
it,
you got to give him his due.
I,
From
for
where he started to where he's
for
at
what
now,
he
he's
is,
improved.
fantastic. But he's not a wide receiver. He's not.
He's not a wide receiver. He's a gadget
It,
player.
Dak
I
had
will
him
agree.
wide open
But
deep, and
we
okay. So he is what he is. He got paid. He's here. Fantastic. He's good at what he does. That's the
I like
that's the
him.
end of it.
He's an element we need.
And
We'll see.
that is my. You need somebody to get this damn defense behind the sticks, and there's no threat of that. There hasn't been a threat of that for so damn long, man. And you need it. Now you got Golden. We'll go ahead and we'll do it this way. We'll take Golden. We'll even at 12. No trade back. We'll take Golden. We'll take your DT. We'll take a wide receiver or running back in the third, whichever one you want. Makes you happy. We'll take another running back or wide receiver in the fourth, whichever one makes you happy. Then we start stacking corners. We start stacking those traits guys with the 34-inch arms, 33-inch arms, and the 6-foot frame with 33s. Lanky boys, not these 6'2" boys with 33s. I'm talking about these 5'11", 6-foot guys with 32s, 33s, 34s. We'll start stacking that. and get you some players on the back end of that draft. How's that make you sound?
That sounds all right, but me personally, I want to add that fourth, and I want 2 DTs between the first if we have first, a
Damn
second,
it, we don't have
2
a fourth.
seconds,
I
and a
thought we
third,
got
a
a. I
fourth.
thought we got
I
a
want,
fourth out of the comp.
yeah, nope, we didn't.
I thought we got a fourth out of the
So,
comp.
and
That's my.
you know the gap.
Damn it.
You know what the gap is. 75 picks is the
Damn
gap.
it, man. And that's going to be a hell of a run.
75.
That's going to be a hell of a run.
That's going to be a. You saw what happened last year. That's why they had to jump their ass back up in there because they were going to get murdered. All the good players, all them players gonna be gone. 75 picks, they're gonna be gone. That's why you got to get that 4th round pick. That's why I say you got to trade back.
It's amazing that people that stupid can find the internet. QB didn't take a team-friendly deal. Yeah, it's amazing you can find the internet. Yeah, God damn it. They're in a bond.
Yep, Mingo is our 4th.
They're in a bond. They're in a bond, dude. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's my hesitation on trading back from the first. Picking up 8 spots and losing the guy that you had circled and bolded and highlighted and underscored in all capital font. It's not worth it for me.
Yeah, I don't.
It's not worth it for me.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. It's worth it for me because like my dog DMV's in here. A one tech and a 3 tech. Give me 2 of them because, like I said, you can get that running back, you can get that receiver. But if you get 2 DTs, you said load up in corners and them 5th round picks. I'm with all that too. Load them up. But you just said we need speed. I agree. We need speed. But you need 2 defensive tackles in that middle to help Mozzie and Osa, and we need guys. We don't need just these rink-a-dink dudes that they always pick up later. No, we need real guys for these defensive tackle positions. It is rich this year, rich at defensive tackles.
I can get you a bunch of extra picks, but the folks ain't gonna like how I get them.
I mean, I'm sure you could, but I ain't doing it that way. Probably you want to do it.
You sure?
Well, yeah, because you're probably gonna say something crazy.
You know what I'm gonna say?
Nah, no, don't even say that because I'm not doing that. If you're gonna say what I think,
that's how you get picks, Bubba.
Nah, we ain't nobody doing that, dog.
Okay.
Ain't nobody. They don't know what they're doing with that, so I'm not talking about that, and I don't want that to happen.
That's how Kansas City. That's how Kansas City stayed up.
But we ain't Kansas City. Stop saying that. Dallas ain't Kansas City. They not smart enough to do that. What are they still doing? So you can't give them the credit that they're the smartest people out there to know how to do that. So stop talking about that. Those are 2
different conversations. Those are 2 different conversations.
How isn't it? It's front office.
Yeah, I understand that. But the fact of the matter is I know how to get you some picks real quick. And it would actually.
You do. But you ain't the GM. And you don't own
it would help your team big time.
But it ain't. You don't own the team, and they ain't smart enough to do that. So I'm not entertaining those thoughts.
You can leave
because they're not smart enough to do it. Why don't you trade Jake Ferguson? Trade Jake Ferguson.
For what? Now ain't nobody traded for a 3rd.
Why not? Why not? I'll take a 3rd for Jake Ferguson. Hell yeah.
That's on the high end.
I sure in the hell would take a 3rd for Jake Ferguson, buddy. Somebody said, I'm going to give you a 3rd for Jake Ferguson. I'm running over there.
It would be a 2026 3rd.
I'm just saying.
I can get you.
Oh, hell no. I ain't doing no first 4 picks on offense. I'm not trying to call you crazy, but are you crazy?
I can get you.
Hell no.
I can get you an extra 1st round pick.
I don't care what you give me. We're not talking about that.
Next year, Bubby.
Nah. Yeah, you couldn't do it. They couldn't do it, but I'm not talking about that because you're not smart enough to draft them difference makers like that. So you saw they drafted Mozzie. You got them the credit that they drafted Mozzie and Schoolmaker. You want to give them the credit that they're going ahead and flip them picks and get the right people? I don't think so. So stop entertaining that.
Let me flip it back on you. So you want them to trade back and pick extra picks like they can draft well in the 2nd round?
I'll take that chance. I'm not taking that chance that you lose
Oh, so that's that.
all
See,
worldly
what
player.
had happened
Think
was
you're gonna do it.
that's
No,
different.
yeah, because I'm giving up a generational player. You make no sense. Why would I give up a generational player? That's like the Mavericks, what you're talking about.
That Dallas would actually be getting the adequate
right?
return here instead of trading.
How?
Because the Mavericks traded Josh Allen
I
to the
don't know they
Rams
would get the
for Kirk Cousins.
Okay, but what I'm saying is I don't know that they're getting adequate back. I don't know they would do that. I don't know they would get adequate back, and I don't know they would adequately know how to flip it.
What you sound scared right now.
No, I'm not scared at all. It's just I don't trust them.
You sound scared right now.
I'm not scared.
I'm
not scared. I don't trust them. I'm not the one in controls.
But would
you just got a hard on for that. You keep on talking.
Would you do it?
If they gave me like 3 firsts, yeah.
You're looking at 2 firsts and probably a second.
No, I'm not looking at 2 firsts. I want 3.
What the Tyreek Hill was 2.
I could get 3.
The Tyreek Hill trade was 2 firsts, a third, and a fifth.
He's not generational. He's not generational.
I mean, that's debatable.
It's not debatable. He ain't no generational person. He got generational speed.
He also is a generational idiot. So that kind of hurt the trade stock.
That ain't got nothing to do with we talking about the player.
You wouldn't do it for 3 firsts.
No, I just said I would do it for 3 firsts, not 2.
Man.
Not 2. That's not good enough for me. Not for no generational talent that's 25 years old. It's already broken records. And hell no. I want to get everything I got. Or no. I can do that. I can do that because I have the control of the player who is generational.
They don't have any.
So yes,
they don't
give me a list.
They don't have any control over him. They got a franchise tag.
They have a 5th-year option on, so he's still under contract. They do have control.
I understand that
if you're under contract with them,
he's about to play.
But they still have control. What control does he have?
The fact that he's not showing up at training camp without a deal.
Okay, well, I mean, but he'll be losing money.
Like that matters when you're going to get 41, 42 a year.
I'm just saying. Players always say that, but I ain't seen one sit out except Le'Veon Bell.
Who's his agent?
Just saying. What did he do after that?
Who is Parsons' agent? David Mugoleta.
I'm not doing it.
I'm saying.
And why are we even entertaining? We know they're not going to do it.
I'm saying I don't think they pay. That's what I'm saying.
They're going to sign him.
Okay.
They're going to sign him.
At the last minute and cost himself another 7 or 8 a year. Yeah.
Probably, but we already know that. So to me, that's a moot point with him. Because if they did that with CD and Dak, they're going to do it with Parsons too. I don't see why they wouldn't.
It should have been done already. And they're still out of.
We said that about the other 2.
They're still out of touch with the market.
We said that about players before
they said there's no leaves to fall this year because it's just Parsons. It's not. There's 2 different markets. There's a quarterback market and the non-quarterback market. Every player that gets signed that's not a quarterback now becomes the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. That's always the tagline. It's happened 4 times already this offseason. And then he says, "Well, I don't need $40 million. I'll be a team player." He beat him to the courthouse on that one because his agent ain't letting him sign for a fucking penny less than what he's worth. David gets folks paid. Period. And I just don't know with the roster construction this team currently has if that is the best decision they could make. Because his contract will become an excuse. Just like Jackson's contract, just like Lamb's contract, just like Diggs' contract, these contracts will become an excuse for them.
That's not our problem.
I understand that. But you're talking about this team how you don't trust them to make the trade happen. This is the counterpoint, the other side of that coin, where it's, oh, we thought we paid Dak Prescott and CD Lamb and,
They've
and
been,
Micah Parsons
but
that money,
isn't that
we
their,
would have made it further this year.
but that is their MO. That is the way they build it. They pay their star players and expect their stars to do
Yeah,
it, and then they
three
try to
versus
build
22.
with.
3 versus 22.
I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just telling you their philosophy, and that's why that shit ain't changing. They're gonna expect their stars, so they're gonna pay their stars. They've always paid their stars, whether they took forever to do it. They always freaking pay them. They always do, and they always, once they pay them stars, say, "We paid you that money. Now go do
By
it."
yourself.
That's the way the Jones
By
do it.
yourself.
I
Go
hate
do
it,
it by yourself.
but that's the way they do it. You're right, but I don't know. That's why we got to continue to be vocal, right?
Yeah,
Right?
that's
Because if we don't say shit,
no, it's
yeah, we do. We do have to continue to be vocal.
we have to,
Yeah, we do.
and that's the conundrum that I'm at here, man. There's, to me, if it were my team, let's say, take the Jones boys out of it. Take the Jones boys out of it. Take. I'm running the
I
team.
don't want to live in fantasy.
I'm running the team. Dak, where do you want to go in 2026? Because we're starting Will Greer this year. I'm moving 11. I'm moving Diggs. I'm moving anybody I can. Tyler Smith, now I'll go ahead and ink you up. We need the line around. We need the line around. So we're rocking with the offensive line. We're rocking with Will Greer because Dak Prescott, unfortunately, I don't know. He came down with I don't know. He's got measles or something. He's not going to be able to play this season. Damn, that stuff.
Man,
That's a shame, right?
I don't want to. You talking these? No, I don't want to talk in these fantasies, dog.
I'm saying what needs to happen, not this half measure bullshit.
But it ain't happening.
No, we're on
But it ain't going.
we're on
It
the
ain't
rope
going to happen.
swing, and
We got to stay in reality, right?
you,
But we got. The only thing we can do is just like when I talked to Mike Fisher yesterday, when he said at the end was the thing that was really saying to me. He said, Dallas ain't changing from the being the marketing team and Cowboys. It's always going to be like that. You just got to overcome the Joneses. That's the only way you're going to win because they're going to do it this way. They're not changing that way. The players are going to just have to overcome it. And that's what me and you have been
it's an
talking about
impossible
forever.
job.
The players are going to have to just overcome it. That's the only way it's going to happen. It's going to have to be like a miracle. The players are going to have to overcome this. So don't you think the players got to bond even closer and be even closer knit to overcome them?
But you're talking once again. You're talking about fantasy land. That's fantasy land. These guys got
How's that fantasy land for a team to be coming together and bonding? No, that's not
everybody
fantasy
on one
land.
year.
That starts with the
Everybody
culture of
on
your
1 year
coach. That starts with your.
contracts. Everybody looking out for
That
themselves.
don't got
Everybody
nothing
just
to do with it. If you got a coach and if you bring a coach in there that can change that culture and the players take a hold of it and band together, because you're gonna have to overcome the front office. That's the point. They're not changing. You already know that. We can't talk in that fantasy what we want because it don't matter what we want. We've been wanting this certain type of change for how long, Mike, and it hasn't happened. We wanted to change not the right way of doing the damn hiring, but they lucked up and got a damn good coach, in my opinion. But what they did was still wrong and flawed. So they didn't change nothing. They just lucked up and got a
it's
good
the
coach.
illusion of
So
change.
they're not changing anything they're doing now. I'm just saying they're doing the same thing with free agency. They're doing the same thing. So once again, the players, y'all got to come together. Your coaches all got to be one mind, and it almost got to be like, let's stay quiet, but it's us against the management because we got to overcome them and win
You're
chips.
describing the plot of Major League.
I'm just telling you,
It, it,
it is. It is. You don't have to love your owner and shit, but you guys can band. Mike, don't tell me that
but
you
these
play.
kids,
Now, let's say if you have a coach, right? Hold up. If you going to a school, right? You hate your freaking university president, right? You ain't winning for them, but you love your coach, you love the university, but you can't stand them. Wouldn't you band together and win this
Your
chip for
university president
yourselves?
is
Wouldn't y'all
responsible
band?
for bringing you top tier talent, and you know you're going into battle unprepared against better teams. Nothing changes that fact. Nothing changes that. Oh, it's us. It's us. Cool. All right. Well, it's me and Tommy and Brian and them, and we're going to play.
Teams can come together. I don't care. Teams can come together just like coaches can come together. And over,
Yeah,
they
and
have to
they
come together
inevitably
in
meet
that
the talent
building.
ceiling.
It's not like Dallas don't have talent.
They, I mean, we just spent the last hour talking about how they have 9 holes they need to fill.
Right, but they still, even with them holes, they were still competitive last year. They have enough talent to still be competitive year in and year out. Whether you don't like you should know that, Mike. We don't have that next gear talent to get to that next level. That's what we're talking about, adding the real pieces. But you can't sit there and tell me this team can't go in there and compete if Dak is
Right.
healthy
So
right now with each
we're on the
team.
way to another wild card loss. That'll be Dak's fault. That's our ceiling.
I'm not
That's what I'm
saying
hearing,
that.
dude.
You just said that they not talented
They're
though. I said they're talented enough to win games.
Yeah, they're talented enough to win
They have enough
games.
talent.
They're not talented enough to win the
Right.
championship.
So right, but wouldn't that help if isn't my point ringing loud if your team and coach all come together to overcome
Yeah,
that?
if
Because you have enough talent. We've seen teams that aren't supremely talented win a Super Bowl, haven't we?
yeah, that's and you know what? They also had a better roster. They also had functional ownership, and
The Raiders had a dope roster when they beat the
yeah,
damn.
they ex-
I mean well, no, they
yeah
didn't. I'm flipping it because Raiders didn't. They were old as hell. I was talking about Buccaneers. They had a talented
yeah
roster.
they. I mean,
Let me
nine of the
see.
guys on that defense are in the Hall of Fame. So
Well, hey, but I mean, they couldn't do it before, and then when they got a coach, they came together and did it. So the coach does matter.
yeah,
We've seen time and time again with players. We've seen teams that couldn't do it with a coach. They get the right coach, and next thing you know, the damn Golden State Warriors, they couldn't do it. They get the right coach, boom, they win championships. We just seen the Chiefs. I mean, we seen teams, they get the right coach in the building, and they still may have good talent, may not have great talent, but they get the right staff in the building. The coaches, they bond together, coach them up. It does help. And it's not like they're not going to add some more talent. So that's the only thing I can talk about because this is the way the Cowboys are doing it. So I can't live in no la la land with these dudes and hoping that they'll do this when they've shown Mike they're not.
I get that, but it is our job as what the hell are we? I don't want to say content creator. That's so cringe. But
We ain't gonna say that as the
it
voice.
is
We're the
it is our
voice.
job to talk about what could happen, how it should
That's what
go.
we're
Not we
right.
don't just ignore and completely write off scenarios of say an
I
11
agree.
trade
All
or a
right. I give you
see
that. I
that's
give you
our
that.
that's our
I
that's
give
our
you that.
job, man. Um, so it's it's we always go into the every single season feel like they didn't do enough. We have a quarterback that isn't Patrick Mahomes, so even Patrick Mahomes couldn't overcome this. So when you go into a season with that feeling every single year, it's hard to ignore what could have been done different and speak about that so vocally and not just pretend that well they're not going to do it. I get they're not going to do it. I get that. Here's what needs to happen though to get over that final part of the hill. That last, when they were making the Bugatti Veyron, the initial Veyron, they had it at 219 miles an hour. It took another 1,100 horsepower to get it to 254. And Dallas is always missing that extra piece that will secure the record, that will push you over. You need it. It's the only way they've ever won.
But this is what I'm saying, though. But this is what I'm saying. What you're talking about to me is not a reality when you're talking about 11. I hear what you're saying. So what my thing is, you just said we need speed, right?
Yes, sir.
That would help this offense
Yes, sir.
tremendously. We get a pretty decent running back in this draft. That's going to help this roster tremendously. We have a good enough line. I like Cooper Beebe. I don't think he's moving. Cooper Beebe is a good
No,
center. So Tyler
yeah.
Smith is a
You have a solid. So inside of all
center guard.
inside
Whatever.
of all the
He's
negativity,
real.
quote unquote, your core is young.
That's what I'm
As far
saying.
as your core goes,
it's
Dak
like
Prescott's the oldest person on your team.
Right.
And the core is there. And you just inject some speed. Now we're back to Golden at 12. If you think you can get him on a trade back, great. I'm not in the business of having top half first round stock and moving out of it. Because there's a reason those guys go in the top half. There's an absolute reason for that. You know that.
But see, I agree. But that's what I was talking about. The core. The core team has talent. Yes, it does. And they're young. That offensive line is not a bad offensive line. It's got talent on the offensive line. The defensive line, it ain't a terrible defensive line. It's got talent. You just need to add the right pieces. The Calais Campbell, that helps. You add the Keenan Allen, that helps. You draft speed. You draft more defensive tackles. Now you come together because you lucked out. We didn't like the process with the coach, but you lucked out and probably got a good one with it. So if you just continue to sprinkle those pieces that we're talking about and you draft correctly, I'm telling you, Mike, I hear what you're saying, but if you get them two really dog defensive tackles and get your speed that you're talking about and get two defensive tackles and this running back, bro,
you're back in business.
You're back in business, bro. You get a running back, two defensive tackles, and a receiver in the first 4 picks. If you get another,
we come out of the draft with the fastest.
I'm telling you, back in business, bro. You back in business,
you pick up the phone and you act like Stringer Belly. Say, I want you to spread the word. We back up.
And then I'm still trading Jake Ferguson. I'm dangling. I'm saying, Dono, bye. Can I dangle some other people? What kind of other picks can I get? But I'm definitely seeing if anybody wants Jake Ferguson because I can get another tight end like Jake Ferguson.
I feel like that's a little disrespectful.
It's not disrespectful to him. No, it's not. That's saying you're good, but you're gonna so you telling me Jake Ferguson?
He was hurt.
And I
he was hurt last year. What he needs to do is break up with his damn girlfriend.
Okay.
Them girls ain't nothing but trouble.
He was hurt last year, but does Jake Ferguson? What I'm trying to ask you, does Jake Ferguson have these awesome traits where you're like, I ain't trading him? Don't tell me that.
Nobody's a starting NFL tight end, and those are awfully hard to find.
Right.
They're a 3-year position. You know how I feel about tight ends. If you're thinking you're going to draft,
but you know what? That Brevin Spann Ford got better at the end of the year.
If you're thinking you're going to draft a tight end,
Schoonmaker got better. I ain't saying he's all work. Yes, he did. He did. Bro, you just a hater. You just a hater, bro. You don't watch film. You can say what you want. You's a hater, bro. I'm not even on the Schoonmaker train. He did to get better. He made improvements.
Well, you need to apologize.
You're a hater,
you try to tell me I don't watch film.
I'm not apologizing for nothing. You need to watch that tape, dog. He got better toward the end of the year. You're not telling me
that. The second round 27-year-old tight end who's been hurt his entire career.
I'm not saying he's not. This is what you're talking about second round tight end and his age. I'm talking about the play on the field. I don't give a hell he was drafted in the second round. I know it was a reach. I said you should have got Devon Achane, who's playing with the Miami Dolphins. You could have got him in the second round instead of him. I agree with what you're talking about in the second round. I'm saying he got better as the season go on. You're throwing your hands up. I'm watching the tape on that. Yes, he did.
Congrats. He finally
did.
Looks like
he got better. He finally kind of possibly looks like he belongs on an NFL football field.
He finally kind of maybe possibly looks like he belongs on an NFL football field.
Yeah, he got better. He did. I'm not saying, oh, damn, Schoonmaker is a dog. No, but I watched him from when we talked about. We were like, man, what the hell? This start of the season, and I'm like, okay, just like we talked about Mozzie, we ain't jumping on Mozzie like, oh man, Mozzie's great. But we saw games where you like, okay, Mozzie, maybe there might be something there. That's what happened with Schoonmaker. Is it justifying the second round pick? Hell to the no. But if you're telling me I have a Brevin Span forward who does not look bad. You still have that dude. I don't know what I ain't saying nothing about him. But if you're saying Schoonmaker, who you picked in the second round, you can still get another tight end late, and I can pick up another pick for Ferguson because he's good enough for me to get another pick. That's all I'm saying. If all I'm saying is make a call and see if it's there. I'm not trying to disrespect a player, but this is a business. And if you're talking about 11, I can talk about him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just can't get with you on any other
Okay.
tight end stepping in because it's a 3-year position. Like, I don't think you could, like, if you want to talk about the actual trade scenario,
This will be Schoonmaker's third year, though,
you'd be
wouldn't it?
lucky.
Wouldn't this is going to be Schoonmaker's
Yeah.
third
So
year, though?
now he finally
Maybe he
produces.
could break
He
out.
finally produces, and they don't pay him, and he gets paid to go elsewhere, like every other tight end drafted early.
Okay, but I don't care about that right now. What I'm talking about is when we were talking about the players and my mastermind of plans, I brought up Jake Ferguson again and saying he's a good enough player where you could possibly get a high draft pick. I would just look at
You're
it.
getting.
I wouldn't trade him for no fourth. I'm keeping Jake Ferguson for. But if you said if you go for a third, I'm doing that. I'm sorry. If I get a third off of Jake, I'm sorry I'm doing that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Jake. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm
you're
getting a
not
third for
getting
you.
a third though.
I know, but you said it, so that's why I
I
agreed
know, and I felt stupid as hell
with
when
it.
I said it. So
You said it.
I was there. I
So
know,
that tells you also he ain't got no crazy traits to be getting no high
but
draft
he
picks. So that
also
proves my point too.
his contract is proper, and he works his ass off. Dude, the guy had a TBI last year to where he couldn't smell until like week 13. Like he got.
Yeah, there you go, Klebo. Brock Bowers ain't take 3 years.
Oh, for every Brock Bowers, there's 197-pound fucking pits. Get the fuck out of
Hey,
here.
there's some good tight ends come out early. There's some good tight ends early. And for real, Kyle Pitts is good. They just got the effed up situation in
Okay,
Atlanta.
Kyle.
If he went to a different situation, he'd be a dog.
Yeah, okay. If
Hey,
they hey, if he had played
okay.
better, things would have
I'll
been
bet you
different.
money on that. I bet you money on that.
I bet you money too. If
He's
he
going to
had
be
played
really good.
different, things would have been better.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
always the what ifs with the
Okay.
damn tight ends, man.
I can agree with that too. But
Well, let's go. We'll
I
be on
would
this
bet that
team
if he
until
was
the
in a
day I
different
die
team.
because they're not going to admit they were wrong on the Amari Cooper trade. Period.
Yeah, hit that like button. We haven't gotten back and forth today.
Period. Well, let's go, dude.
I ain't agreeing with
I'll
Mike
be on
today
my
on that.
damn deathbed, getting IV fucking granolas, and well, let's go. We'll still be on the inactive, still be a healthy scratch on the roster for the Dallas Cowboys.
If the Atlanta Falcons gave you a fourth for Kyle Pitts, would you take it?
Yeah, he's fine.
And would you be
He's finally
excited?
ready to play.
Would you be excited if Kyle Pitts was on
For
your
a
team?
fourth? Fuck yeah. We don't have a fourth.
No, just if Kyle Pitts was on your team. If Kyle Pitts was on your team right now, would you be like, I like that?
Hey, how about we send him since
Yeah, you would.
hold on.
Yes, you would, Mike. You would love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know you would.
Absolutely, because he's ready to play now.
Because you know he's a
He's ready to
dog.
play now.
Because you know he's a dog.
He's ready to play
He's a
now. He's
dog,
been in the
too.
league 3 years. He's ready to play. It's a tight end. It's a slow. Tight end is outside of quarterback. That is the hardest position to transfer to the pros. It's a 3-year training process.
Tight end is not the hardest position, in my opinion, to transition to the pros.
Next to the quarterback, it is. Because what you're asked to do, and
Cornerback's not hard. I don't agree
you're
with
covering.
that. Cornerback is very freaking.
You're
What?
covering.
You're backpedaling, bro. I play corner.
I understand that.
You're backpedaling.
The rules.
And
what you're asked to do as a college,
you can't touch receivers
what you're asked
now.
to do as a college tight end is vastly different. What you're asked to do as a pro tight end, the rules are different as far as the contact downfield and all of that.
What about corner coming out of college, Mike?
Okay, I'll give you third, but it's not second.
It's close, in my opinion. I'm
Sure,
gonna say
cool,
second,
great,
maybe third.
wonderful, grand, wonderful. Like I'm not like it's not about whataboutism. I'm not
I feel
diminishing
no. I feel
corners.
what you're
I
saying.
know you corners
I
are fragile with
I
your
feel.
egos, so it's okay. It's okay.
We gotta have egos. Okay.
Y'all on the wide receivers is on some other shit.
Yeah, we do be. We do be. We do be. I can admit that. I can admit that. I can admit that. But yeah, defensive tackle. I just think the defensive tackle takes 3 or 4 years because you're just not mature physically. There's
Yeah,
rarely guys come in there and can really deal with these other grown men. They're in there 34, 30. You know, it's just tough. That's why I think it's hard for the defensive tackles just to come in. You got to be a different player, like a Jalen Carter. You got to be different.
I
Like
was
you
at
got to come
the
in damn near like a grown man.
Senior Bowl when Zach Martin and Aaron Donald were squaring off. I'm in the third level, like way up, and you hear it, man. You hear it. It was like, dude, it was like watching Godzilla versus fucking Megatron or something. Like it was incredible. It was like those dudes are gonna be in the league for 10 years. They're gonna make the Hall of Fame. No questions asked. When you see somebody like that, word gets out, and there's nobody like that in this draft. That's really, really like that.
Yeah, you're right.
What when the you know, I mean
Not the
that
draft for that.
Aaron
This is a lot
Donald,
of quantity.
yeah, it's a lot of it's man. We need to get 2 or 3 years down the road, and I got a whole nother rant about this, but I got to go eat here in a minute. But
It's cool because I need to eat too.
it's the portal and the NIL and all this stuff is slowly watering down the NFL
Yeah.
draft and the
Yep.
prospects that are coming out, and it's
hmm
gonna really hurt the NFL product over the next
I,
probably 10 years.
I agree. I hate it. I don't. I understand it, but I hate it because now it's just
I
made the college
get
game
paid. I'm
just
happy
made
for you. Get all
just get
that,
paid.
but these kids, if you don't like the coach, transfer. You don't wanna earn your job, transfer. You don't want to practice like that, transfer. Boom.
Right.
And it's bringing out is these kids who have been to 3 or 4 schools during their tenure have mediocre production at all of them, and you're projecting them in the first round. That's that's new to me, bub. That's new to me, and that's something that is drastically going to hurt the NFL product. I really, really hate it. Something needs to be done about how many times you can transfer. How I'm not trying to control anybody's life, but it's also kind of for the greater good. You know what I mean? Like as a development, as a human, and as a player, and as a productive member of society, when you can just hop from team to team to team and constantly avoid any situation you don't like, what do you gain in the end?
Yeah.
Where's the growth?
Yeah. Because now it's just a situation where it's that transfer portal really messed it up too. Not, I mean, just that transfer portal. I get it, but it just really messed a lot of things up for the simple fact that if a player is just like, you know what, I ain't feeling you, I'm out, and
Yeah,
you can't build a team. Like you can't build camaraderie. You can't build because these guys are looking for money or they're looking for I want to play now, and if I don't get my way, I'm gone. And it ain't always like that, but it has come to that with players because these guys are young. These are 17, 18-year-old kids, and they want to play football and they want to play now. They don't want to sit and they don't want to
and they
wait.
think they
And it,
think their shit don't stink. They're the
yeah,
greatest thing to ever
and if
grace a football field.
and once a team offers them $1 million, that head explodes. That's just the truth. And now it's a pay for play. I just seen Ohio State basketball team. They're talking about offering a player $800,000 on an NIL deal, and he played he averaged 2 points last year as a freshman, and they're saying, well, he was ballyhooed player. You're going to offer 800,000? That's crazy. Now, am I thinking this kid is going to just be all for Ohio State now? No, he'll be for that money. He's not for
He's
Ohio
looking out for
State.
numero uno.
Yeah, I'm looking out for myself. I'm not looking out for my college or my team or my players. I'm looking out for my money. So if y'all ain't paying me the money I want, I'm leaving. How do we as, because everybody ain't getting NIL deals, you feel me? So how do we continue to say we got a team when the top players are looking at it like, yeah, I might be here for a year, but if y'all don't play me the way I want, somebody offer me $3 million to transfer, I'm out.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They're having the exit interviews, and it's the reason Saban got out of the game. And there's things Saban says I disagree with, or things he says I agree with. He's like, I'm trying to have the exit interviews with the players and think about how we can move forward next year. And the first questions they want to ask is, well, what about my money? That NIL going to come through? It's like, where's the growth? Like, if you play well and your name rings out, the money will come. Period. It will come. But where's your growth to bring that along? And we're seeing it. You got these 25, 26-year-old freshmen, or not freshmen, but,
Yeah,
draft picks.
yeah, year olds, 20, yeah, because these kids be doing this. I think at junior college you can play for as long as you want or whatever. You can play multiple years and still go to 4-year school. Not like y'all messing it up, like y'all messing it up. And also with the NIL deals, like I said, I understand the kids why they want it, but at the end of the day, you are going to start doing like what the NFL does. They start overpaying for these players that are not that player. So you guys will start getting this money and you're really not that player. So you'll get a $2 million deal and you're not that player. You never go anywhere. So where's that money? Like, it's not good because y'all ain't guaranteed to go to the NFL just because they paid you all this money in college.
It's not about, it makes you feel like a boomer, man. It's like, it's not about fundamentals anymore. It's not about how you can play press man. It's not about how you can, beat a man off a quick break. It's about my highlight reel and how can I get my money? How can I put up something on TikTok and get my money?
Because you ain't
Not
in control.
about my
It's not,
future,
you're not in the country. When you go to recruit a
about my,
player, you're talking money now. Like, you're not just going in the house
yeah,
and talking to them about, hey, this and this. You're talking about how much I got to pay you to keep you because they just offered you 5.6 million and I got to offer you 7 to get you here. Woo! I mean, I guess it's the
that's
times.
why
It's the
that's why
times
they
now.
there's teams that have closed down their spring practices or outright canceled them because they don't want. Now Dion did the other thing. He said, "Hey, who wants to come to Boulder and practice? Because you know why? He wants to steal your player. You got a cornerback I like, and I'll give him 8, and you're only going to get him 1.5. I can get him 8. Come on down, come on down." These coaches are that's the reason the spring practice stuff has been getting canceled is they don't want people coming in looking at their team and literally poaching their players with money. Like, it's such an unregulated market right now with the NIL and all that. It's incredible, like what's going on with. I mean, you could be on a team in May and somebody buys you out and you're starting on the other side of the country come September.
Mhm.
It's it's just so crazy what's going on with all that, and it's drastically hurting the NFL product. Like, look at the quarterbacks this year, bub.
Mhm.
Like, there's not a like there will be a quarterback taken in the first round. There'll be probably be 3 or 4. None of those guys are someone I would take in the first round, but you have to because the position, and you're there, and you don't have one. So here we are. Uh, the shit's got to level off, man. It's probably going to take another 10 years for everything to level off and plane out.
Mm-hmm. It is what it
And I
is.
don't, yeah, man, shit, hour 30.
Yeah, I
I
know.
got to get some
That's what
food.
I'm saying. But that's a good show today. You got to make up for all that lost time.
Yeah, I've been out here. I've been out here yapping.
It's nice out there, though. I'd be yapping out there, too, if I was out there.
Dude, it's
It's
so
beautiful out there, bro.
dude,
Show
it's
the
so
people
fucking
out there
pretty
before
out
you
here,
leave.
man.
Show the people out there before you leave. Show a little bit of you. Show us some of that view. The Great Outdoors with Mike White. Billy White.
It's a good one, Bubba.
Appreciate you, big dog. Good show.
Appreciate you. Hey, thank y'all. Oh
Oh,
shit.
shit.
Thank y'all for everybody that came out.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
gonna go grab my food. Right. On that. Peace.
Salutes. All right, you know what it is. Great show today. Appreciate everybody that was in the building. Nice crowd. Appreciate everybody in the building. Make sure you check out that show. My interview with Mike Fisher yesterday. Very good show. Very good information. I like to get the real. A lot of people say what they want about Mike Fisher. I know he might clickbaity, whatever, but when you get him on the interviews, he tells you what it really is. And that's what that's what I respect about him. Like when I talk to him on interviews, he'd be like, nah, it ain't that. I ain't trying to be disrespectful, but it ain't what people saying it is out there. So make sure you check out that Mike Fish interview yesterday. It was a very good interview. I got another young man was supposed to do it today, but it's not happening today. We're doing it tomorrow. Best of Enemies is going to be tomorrow, not tonight, because I got a concert I'm going to. Um, my dog's concert. I'm going to Miss Kinsey, going to her concert tonight. Watch her turn up, and then tomorrow we get the Best of Enemies popping tomorrow, and the interview with Mr. Daylon Jones, 6'2" junior to be dog from Virginia. My dog DMV put me on to him. He's the real deal. I love. Remember, we got to support the kids. So please support that interview tomorrow. Had another one before that. Please support all the kids' interviews that we drop. And just really appreciate everybody. Had a great time in here. Had a great crowd, all that good stuff. It was a great show today, and I really had a good time with it. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all for life. Love the audience that we always have. Always good content with you guys, and I just want to always tell you I appreciate your comments, and I always appreciate you guys always jumping in the live shows and always giving great questions, great insight, great thought, great talk back, great feedback back and forth. Action Jackson today, we had good talk, and once again, what I like about it is me and Action Jackson had some back and forth, but it wasn't like no disrespectful or nothing, and I think that's where we need to continue to do when we talking in these feeds, that we can have great back and forth. We can definitely not agree, because you saw me and Mike didn't agree at all pretty much today, but it can always still be respectful how we do it. So that's all. I just like how we do it in the feed, and I like the crowd that we had today, and I just really appreciate it. I really appreciate all y'all. Boothang, Angie, Kid 66, David Jenkins, Sadiqua, Cowboys, Marty, Dre the Great, Tay Cowboys. Who else? Showtime 53, my dog David Bylair, always good. David's very, 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 very nice person. I really appreciate you. And just like I said, Salah Jackson, my dog Klebo. Klebo's my dog. Also, my cousin uh, Keystone, Dr. Dre in here, Jaja Binks, Stevie Mac 23, who's been there for a long time, Cowboys for life. Just really appreciate all y'all. Appreciate you for retweeting me. My dog Ty Church. I finally got the face. I told Ty that we had known Tyrone Church for 100 years. And I never know his face. I was like, Ty always be giving this great info. I want to see what he looked like. And then he finally threw the profile, but he said he had to put the name with the face. So I appreciate it. So big shout outs on that. Aztec Aguilar 04, just everybody that was in the building. Joseph Chapman, Big SARS 31, Lost in Transition podcast. You were saying some crazy stuff today, but I feel you. So I just really appreciate all you guys. Great show. Definitely be talking to you guys soon, tomorrow, all that good stuff. Let's get it. Season's right around the corner, draft's around the corner. Let's get it. Time to go. Peace.